Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horn. And I'm bringing you a video tonight titled Blocked Part 4. Yes, this is the last part of our 4-part series titled Blocked. Blocked Part 4. Less is more. Self-love, optimization, and never finding yourself in a position of inequality. But before we go any further, always know my videos in the dating space, they're inspired by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at www.matthewchorne.com. And before we go any further, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Help me to grow the movement in the channel. But once again, this series Blocked has been enjoyable making it, receiving the feedback, and yeah, I just want to get right to part 4. Yes, Blocked Part 4. Less is more. Never finding yourself in a position of inequality. Self-love, optimization. Yes, these are the components of what we're talking about today. But as you can see, as we've gone through the series Blocked, it has been anchored in self-love, meaning that you're never going to have a mindset to engage with a woman on any level, whether it's initially meeting her, whether she's trying to make an attempt to come back into your life, or whatever the case may be. If self-love is your anchor, if self-love is your first go-to in terms of your line of defense that you're weighing everything against that's attempting to enter your space, or that you're considering to bring into your space, that self-love has to be there. Because that's going to always keep you in a position where you're not in a position of inequality, meaning that the woman is not giving things to you that you are not giving to her, that you are giving to her. You never want to extend yourself further than what someone is willing to match you with, because that person will not have a level of respect for you because you are over extending yourself to that person. And it's okay to do things for someone when they've been present, they've been consistent, they've been steady, and they've been an inspiration to your life. Then that's when you naturally are inspired to do things for that person. But I'm talking about the people who have not exhibited those qualities. You don't want to overextend yourself. And I also said, we have the self-love, the optimization, and not finding yourself in positions of inequality. Now, I really want to focus on optimization as well, meaning you want to make sure that you're the best version of yourself as a man. Mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. You're always working, you're never complacent, you're always elevating yourself in those very critical and important areas of your life, so that you know you're deserving of the best. You can't go through life thinking women are supposed to just automatically give you this optimal treatment if you're not presenting an optimal product. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're consistently working on yourself, always bettering yourself. As my college coach used to say, you always better your best, and you never completely arrive until your last breath is taken. Inhale that and understand that you must wake up and improve yourself every day. And the consequence of that mindset and those actions will be that you will have a trail of results that will be impressive, not just to women, but the world as a whole. But yeah, just to go further into the subject matter, Block Part 4, less is more. And when you really know yourself, you accept yourself, and you elevate, meaning your mind, your body, your spirit, when you elevate, then you can only accept people and things in your life that are a reflection of what you're giving, meaning that that inequity, that inequality is just not there, because you don't allow people in your space who are not treating you in accordance with how you're treating them, and also in accordance with the optimal man that you've become, meaning that the woman must have some level of recognition of the magnitude of the man that is right in front of her, meaning she can't mess up and then figure out who you are. She has to have a recognition of who you are, because oftentimes that messing up comes with a very deep level of disrespect. And that's what I want to really go into. That's why I say less is more. You'll find as you really begin to elevate, you'll begin to notice a very collective mindset amongst women. And I'm just telling the truth. No matter how much I've progressed in my career, no matter how many luxury cars I've purchased, no matter how nice my places have gotten, no matter, what my attire has become, all the outward trappings and showings of success what I can say with regularity is that, I'll meet a woman, she'll be attractive. I know she's attracted to me, but there's a need from her to show a level of dominance over me. And that manifests itself in disrespect. And it's something that's been so consistent that I understand that this is the mindset. So I'm really trying to set the tone for what I'm about to say. That is the collective mindset of the average woman that you're going to meet. In her mind, she's better than you. So no matter how successful you've become, no matter how attractive you are, things may go smooth, for a blip, for a second, but, there will be a certain point in time where she has to show you that she's better than you. And that means she's going to do something disrespectful to you and see if you're going to stick around for it. Because if you stick around for it, that means that in her mind, she's better than you, that she can feed you a plate of you-know-what, and you stick around and eat it. That's what makes women have a mindset that they're better than you. So that's why I say less is more, because the more that you learn to value yourself and love yourself and understand you're dealing with a person, who has been conditioned to think she's better than you, and men have bowed down to her. Even though she hasn't quite gotten the results that she wants with the kind of men that she wants, she hasn't changed her mindset to say, you know what, let me meet this guy on equal footing. Let me give him the same level of value that he's giving to me. Nope, narcissism. I have to prove that I'm the more valuable commodity, and that manifests itself in disrespect. So you're gonna find very few women. If you're an attractive man, you're successful, you're going to encounter a lot of women. But in terms of really being able to go down a road and develop a relationship, or even just something, consistent, casual, it's going to be a little bit more difficult if you really value yourself, because of the level of disrespect that you're going to have to consistently deal with. And when a true alpha male, a man who is at one with himself and puts himself first, once a true alpha male encounters disrespect, there's no coming back from it. I mean, there are certain things that women can do that you can work through. Like, there are certain transgressions that you all can just adjust to and have conversations and work yourself through. But when it comes to disrespect, that's what this video is really about. When it comes to disrespect, it hurts you in your soul because you know that, number one, you didn't do anything to deserve it, and number two, the magnitude of the man that you are, this shouldn't be coming your way, especially if you're really giving a woman a consistent level of interest in your presence and showing that you will want more with her. But that's what you're going to consistently find. And many, very attractive women are single because they refuse to reciprocate to men. It's really that simple. Gorgeous women, men from all walks of success in life have offered them the best, but ultimately had to choose themselves because of the level of disrespect that was coming from these women. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's going to be less is more, meaning that you're going to have women that you could interact with, you could have a physical relationship with, but you choose not to interact with them because of a certain boundary of disrespect has been crossed that you did not deserve. And you're going to find yourself experiencing less is more, because you may not have the amount of women that you want, but the women that enter your space are quality, and they fill a much larger hole than a bunch of women who are disrespecting you, and you're tolerating disrespect just to keep them in your space. That's when less is more. And, one thing that I've consistently seen is, a lot of guys who brag about having a lot of women. I've been able to, kind of get close to some of these guys. And, I've had my share of experiences in terms of I've been blessed to have encountered many women and have a myriad of experiences over a very long period of time. But you get around some guys, and they'll boast and they'll brag about how many women they have and things that they're doing. But if you're solid, you can read in between the lines, and you can actually pick up on the level of disrespect that they're consistently dealing with in the place of that they're consistently eating, just to keep a disrespectful woman in their space who doesn't respect them, so they can go out and brag. When men brag about women consistently, that shows that they don't think that they're enough. And so that's an insecure man. And an insecure man is a man who doesn't respect himself. And so what kind of woman does that man have in his presence consistently? A disrespectful woman, because he doesn't disrespect himself, because he doesn't respect himself. He has an open, he has an open arena, just ready, an open space for disrespectful women to stay there, as long as they're giving him the things that he wants. And most of the times it's on a physical level. And I can remember someone in particular, I never get personal. I'm not that kind of guy. I just remember one person in particular I had known for a good while. And he bragged about getting women like no one I've ever seen before. And he saw like how easily I could interact with women and get women and stuff like that. And it just kind of got to a point where it started, I guess, rubbing him the wrong way, because I wasn't tolerating disrespect, and I still always had women. And that's another story. I mean, that's another subject matter I'll get into, maybe in another video. But this guy, eventually began to try to get in competition with me. And it was one-sided, because I was secure within myself and I wasn't tripping off anything. Like getting women wasn't a big deal, because I had just become that kind of man where it was just natural. It was going to happen, and people were around me would just witness it. It is what it is, And I remember one instance in particular. I was out, and he had like his main girl with him, and I ran into him and his main girl. And she literally stepped away from him when he introduced me to her, looked me up and down, and was like, "Where you been hiding him? Where you been hiding the men that look like him?" And this is a girl that he's been consistently dealing with for months at this time. I mean, they had a good run at this point. And, I kept it brief, and I ran into him again, and she was asking me if I had any friends, any brothers, like, where are the men that look like you, completely disrespecting this guy I'm talking about. Now, do you think he left her alone? Of course not. But this is the same guy that bragged about getting women all the time. But that's what I'm equating it to, is that a lot of guys who brag about getting a lot of women, they're eating a lot of big plates on a regular basis, and their norm is disrespect in the name of being able to get some of that. You know what I'm talking about. Any masculine man, the sensation of disrespect, the sensation of self-respect, is always going to feel better than the feeling of a disrespectful woman. I want to say that one more time. Less is more. The sensation of self-respect will feel better than the sensation of a disrespectful woman. That's when you've mastered yourself. That's when you've reached peak and optimal levels of masculinity, when you can have the physical attributes of a woman on the table and say, no, I'm not going to touch that, because it's not coming with the level of respect that's in accordance with how I respect myself. That's when less is more. And that's when she's blocked. When she exhibits that level of disrespect that there's no coming back from it. Let me tell you one thing, just like I talked about in the previous video. Once that woman disrespects you and you let her back in, it's going to get worse, because she knows she shouldn't be there. And when there's an extreme level of disrespect exhibited towards you, you have to get out of there. Call it what it is and get out of there, because you didn't do anything to deserve that. And if you tolerate it, there's nothing more of it coming, and it's going to intensify. And I just wanted to give that example, because it just shows that, a lot of guys behind the scenes, by virtue of women instinctively thinking they're above you and they're better than you, and a lot of these guys that brag about a lot of women, they're putting up with a lot of disrespect. And I've seen it firsthand so many different times. And then, you'll have men around you when you're truly masculine that see you dealing with women who only dealing with women who give you the utmost respect. And it bothers them because they can't elevate themselves to get to that point. A masculine man will always make a feminine man feel uncomfortable. And it's not anything that's said, it's the essence of how he moves through life. and the results that he gets consequent of him being that masculine man. So just always remember, less is more. Value yourself. You don't have to have all of the women. You just have to have the women in your space who align with exactly who you are, the level of respect and reverence that you're giving to the woman, and the woman that can understand the magnitude of who you are without having to mess up and go back out there and test her value and realize how much of a value that you were. She doesn't have to mess up. The right woman's going to recognize it. You two will be recognizable to one another. And that's why you want to keep the women who don't respect you blocked. Don't allow them in your space and don't allow them to re-enter your space. I couldn't end this series any other way. Blocked, part 4. Less is more. Maximizing yourself, self-love, and letting go of those inequality, letting go of those situations that don't serve you in accordance with how you're serving the situation. Self-love, when self-love is your anchor, you'll never be in an unbalanced situation. Embrace masculinity. Go without before you succumb to something that is disrespectful just in the name of having company or having a woman on your arm or having access to her physically. Until you're ready to go without, until the sensation of self-respect is greater than the sensation of a disrespectful woman. Until that happens, you're always susceptible to disrespect. You're not solid, and you're going to find yourself in situations that are not going to serve you. So just keep that in mind. This has been part 4, Blocked. I hope you've enjoyed the series. I've enjoyed creating this content. There's much more on the way, and I have some more videos coming this week. Always know, my videos in the dating space, they're inspired by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life. In addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at www.matthewchorne.com. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if this video has elevated your thinking, if you think that you could benefit from someone like me being in your corner and offering you coaching to help you to get the outcomes that you want in the dating space, in the relationship space, email me at matthewchorne23@gmail.com. If this video has been of value to you, your consciousness has been elevated, you've learned some things, and you're better for having encountered this message, my donation information will be in the description. I'll be back at you very soon with some more videos, and thank you for tuning in. This has been Blocked Part 4, Less is More.